Hello kittens, welcome back to Said the Cat. So today we're going to branch away from our usual schedule. The reason is I really want to get this idea published this week. It's actually a very tiny little game, and I think we can sort of do pretty much everything on stream from conception to publish in roughly a week. Here's hoping. So what we're going to be building is a split screen multiplayer game using the Godot game engine, and it's sort of like a little kart racer with weapons and pickups where you play two players on one mobile device. So that's going to be a little bit of a struggle visually because there's not a lot of space, so we're going to have to be very simple with our graphics. But it's something quite unique, and I believe there's something there. So I want to sort of chase this little dream. So let's get started. Let me cue some music up. One moment. Okay, well, the music doesn't seem to be working. Reddit's down at the moment as well, so I don't know what's happening to the rest of the internet, but alright, we'll do it without music for a while. No worries. Okay, so I've been working on a prototype for a couple of days, and I had a couple of issues with the project, and so I'm going to start fresh and start an OpenGL2 project called Split Races, and we're going to start with a 2D scene, and we're going to save that as main text scene. I'm going to call that node main. Okay, and so this is going to be our main scene. Now let's just create another one. I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call that game, and I'm going to create a new scene in there and call that game, and that is going to also be a 2D scene, and we're going to call that game. Cool, so main is essentially where we're going to load the UI and the top level sound effects and manage the level reloads, that sort of thing. And then game is the actual game world, well, the game UI. And then we're going to have a world which manages the physics objects in the world. And the reason why we're going to keep the world different from the game is that we're going to have multiple cameras on the same world. I'll show you how we do that soon. Okay, so the game is going to be pretty simple. We're going to have an HBox container. So this is essentially going to grow to the size of the game. So let me just grab the resolution. I think we want it 1140. Okay. So we want 1140 by 540. Okay, so that's roughly the size of a mobile device. In fact, it's the size of my personal mobile device. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to set layout and just say like full rect. And Then under here, we're going to need a viewport container, right? And we can call this P1 container, and duplicate that down and call this P2 container. And then, so that's essentially how we are going to manage our viewports. In fact, I'm going to make the world first. So let's create a new scene here under world. And we'll call this world. And that's another 2D scene. Alright, so what is going to be contained in this world? Well, the first thing we need is a tile map to represent the level. And I have found a few assets that I'm interested in, so let's have a look at those assets. Okay, so we're going to try and keep the graphics as simple as possible. The main reason is that we have very limited resolution. So when we're splitting the screen between two players, it's possibly going to get a little bit confusing if we have too much going on. So I found this one, or yeah, I think this is probably going to be our go-to here. The tiles here, no, those are a bit too complex. Okay, so I think we're going to just start with this this tile 1 tile set. So we're going to copy it into our world, and we don't need this icon, so let's just remove that. Okay, and so I'm going to create a new folder in here, and I'm going to call that tiles, and we've now got our sprite there. Cool. Now let's go into our tiles, and that will create a level. So we'll say levels, and let's create a new scene and call that level 1. Alright, now that's going to be a node 2D, and we're going to call this level 1. And in fact, that world scene doesn't need its tile map because that's going to be part of the level. Cool. Alright, so let's add the tile map to the level, and we're going to call this boundaries. And we're going to create a new tile set here, and we're going to add from our world tiles the tile set, and zoom in here, and let's create some tiles. Oh yeah, what we want to do is we want to flip over to import, highlight this, and turn off the filter, and cool. And I think for our project, we just want to go into our project settings and make sure under rendering we use pixel snap. think that's what we want. We'll have to see. Okay, so let's, oh yeah, we forgot to re-import. So we click the re-import button, and now you can see this texture gets a lot sharper, and that's going to be a lot better for us drawing pixels. So I think essentially we're going to just create a default like white background. So under environment, we can just set this clear color to be perfect white. Cool. Alright, and the default environment, that's already saved. Okay. And we can actually open up this default environment and have a look at maybe enabling. Oh, we don't really need a glow at the moment. Okay. So we've now got like a perfectly white background, and we can start painting some tiles onto that. If we go to our tile set here and bring in that tile again, so I guess we kind of just want to use a bit of this. Kind of think we can get away with. Wait, let's turn snap on and change the snap options. So I think we want our snap to be 8. There's quite a tiny little tile set. Yeah, it looks like about 8. Okay. I kind of feel like we can get away with just these like square blocks for now. And we can implement our first level without any square, anything but those squares. So that one's there. In fact, we don't need all of these. Okay, and we'll just have a pure black tile here. And oh yeah, we're going to need our boundaries. So let's add our boundary tiles. Okay. Sweet. Now I think we just have one tile that we don't need. Oops. Don't think we need that one. And that one we don't need either. Okay, so with this in mind, I'm pretty sure we can start building our level.